So very good morning to you. Welcome along to Eclipse Motorcycles today, out, and we're going to do a quick review and ride test on this EFI 125 Euro 5 Assault. Now this is in the blue and yellow. They also come in the grey and also come in the black. So just a quick overview of the bike. Semi-knobbly front tyre to this with that high carbon imitation high mudguard. Gives it a slightly scrambler look or motocross style front end. You've got the tank panels with the indicators LED in the end. Very easy to access the engine. Nice side exhaust on that, twin shocks, and that semi again on the back. So it's a road going back wheel, but it's got a very good tread pattern for off-road. High rear bulbed tail light LED indicators, and then a nice tail tidy to finish the bike off. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch cameras. We're going to get up close and personal, take you for a walk around the bike, and then we're going to get this out on the road and show you what you should be doing once you receive your new motorcycle. So getting up close and personal on the bike, we're going to start from the rear end. So you've got those gas lux shocks to the rear, chain drive. You've got the bronzing to the side of the engine, imitation carbon panel to the left side of the bike. Very easy to get in and maintain this bike, and your indicators located in the left and right hand side of the end of the tank panels. Great view of that disc on the front with that gold caliper and that carbon imitation high front end mudguard. H11 bulb on this, so very bright bulb on that, and your two position lights just to the top either side. Semi-knobbly front end tyre, and then working down the off side of the bike, just getting a look at the bronzing on the side of the engine. Kickstart, should you lose charge on your battery if you leave your ignition on or anything. Easy to get in and maintain the spark plugs. Carbon panel once again. Quick and easy check of your rear braking system, and the bronzing that just finishes off the exhaust guard and the heat shield. So you've got one on the tip as well. Great little tail tidy on this. Nice high bulbed stoplight, reflectors, and then your LED indicators to the rear. On your switch gear, so just turning the bike on. So you've got your rev counter with the fuel gauge inside the dial, miles an hour, gear indicator, time, and your total or your trip distance to the bottom set in miles. Right hand switch gear, you've got your kill button and the start button just to the below. Easy to check, get a visual check of your brake levels, brake fluid levels. And across on the left hand gear, you've got the horn indicators, your high beam, low beam, and located just to the rear you have a hazard light switch as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch back to the other camera. We're going to take this out, do a full ride video, and tell you a little bit about what you should be doing with a new motorcycle. So switching back to the ride camera. So throwing the leg over now, this does have side stand, main stand. Make sure if you are seating yourself on the bike, you don't do it on the side stand, as you will bend it. So don't put any weight when you're sat on the bike. Try and keep your feet up, leg over. Roll the bike off its main stand. Quick ignition check, wait for the clocks to run their what we call the duty cycle. Get itself ready, hit the start button, and we are away to go. First thing you're going to do is be setting your mirrors up. Now the mirrors on these, as I do like with most of the 125s, is set the mirrors up nice and wide. I've got literally an eighth of my shoulder, so you're going to get a different view off the camera, but about an eighth of my shoulder in that mirror. 5-speed box on this. So we're going to get ourselves out into traffic, and as always with a new motorcycle, get through the gearbox as quick as you can before you build your revs up. So into first gear, second gear, trying to keep the revs as low as you can. Last thing you want to be doing is over revving the bike. Into fifth gear. Now for the purposes of ride testing or running in any new motorcycle, 500 miles, 3 months, 40 mile an hour, maximum of 45, but vary your rev range, so anything between sort of 35 to 45 for your first 500 miles or 3 months. Get your first service out the way. That will allow you then to get up to 50 mile an hour or little bursts of 55, but taking your time with the engine, obviously making sure that you are not revving it too high. So coming in on the front brake, absolutely spot on. Changing down the gear, and it changes down very, very smoothly on these. Now with a new gearbox it will be a little bit tight at times until it obviously wears itself in as well. Now with that semi-knobbly front end, great in wet occasions, or if you happen to have a little bit of dirt or grit on the road. And the tyres on these are very, very good. We have taken one of these green laning, so very, very good for going country roads, a little bit of green laning, or just wet or damp conditions. They do hold the road very, very well on these tyres. Very easy on the instrument display to see how fast you are going, get your time, and also see how many miles you've got and how much fuel you've got in the bike. Once again, great view, checking the mirrors, and you should be shoulder checking quite a bit on a new bike, obviously keeping an eye. Now some people do comment, oh, but you're only doing 40 down a dual carriageway that is a 70 mile an hour road. Yes, that is true, but Milton Keynes, most of the roads here are dual carriageway, 70 mile an hour roads. Now on a 125 obviously you're going to be able to open it up a little bit. If you happen to be on a 50cc, you're only going to be doing 30, so for me to be doing round about the 40 mile an hour is not a problem at all. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye on those mirrors. So what we are going to do is come off here, shoulder check, and the engine's running absolutely superbly. Just give it a little bit of an open up and then bring it back down just to vary that rev range, and it does sit around about 6,000 RPM. Just checking the braking out again on this one, and this time we are going to come in on the combined braking system, so the back brake and the front brake, and both working very, very efficiently. So the braking system on this is very, very good. No issues at all. As we always say, front brake dry days, rear brake wet days, or a combination of both, but don't go over grabbing that front brake on wet days, or especially in corners, because you will wash out the front end. So these bikes do retail just over the £2,000, and then obviously you're on the road fees, but for the money that you are spending on a brand new bike, you've got that 2-year warranty as long as you stick to your servicing regime and look after the bike. Now the peg position on this is round about mid peg, so once you obviously get your feet down, it's a very, very upright position, especially with those bars as well. They do bring your arms up quite a bit. So I'd say I've got about 10%, 15% lean on my hands, but obviously not as much as the handlebars that you would have on a sports bike or a naked bike. So a little bit higher on the front end and a lot easier just to relax the arms. So you're going to get a bit more distance in should you be travelling a distance, and this will probably be the bike for you, just to get that extra distance in and save the comfort on the arms. But ticking over where it should be around about 1500 RPM, which is what you would expect. So once we've done this, we're going to get ourselves out into traffic, crack up a few miles and do what we call the urban route. See what it's like around roundabouts. So just pulling on that front brake, the suspension on the front end is very, very good, mid to soft, just what you would expect. But just leaning it on fresh rubber into the roundabout, and it does follow a very, very good line. And you don't notice that it is a semi-knobbly tyre. It feels like a road tyre. Normally with knobbly tyres you would feel a little bit of a bumping from the front end, but you don't with this. It just feels like a normal road tyre. So great fun there. And it's not got that typical, as I say, a bee in a baked bean can sound to the engine. It is a very, very throaty 125 rumble from it, so it does sound particularly good when you obviously start coming down through the gearbox. Leaning through the roundabout, absolutely beautiful. So we're going to get a little bit more urban routing. If you are interested in one of these, then Eclipse Motorcycles MK.co.uk is the website. You can check all these bikes out on the website, or the telephone number 01908 822 458. Go and check out the numbers, or give the team a call. Obviously rush hour at the moment, 8 o'clock, everybody's doing the school runs and heading off to work, so the roads are extremely busy, but in urban traffic she is very, very good. And it does go where you steer it. No counter steering needed at all, not even a little bit. Just twist the handlebars and away she goes, lean the bike, and it's very easy, just get a bit of body weight just to manoeuvre the bike around, and I'm just using my hips now just to, as you can see, move the bike around. So around about 130 kilos these, so they're very, very light for what they are. And the overall length of the bike around about 2 metres, so great for filtering through traffic. Is your average size for a 125, as I say, around about the 2 metres, about 700 to 800 wide, which is what you would expect. Now I'm 5'10", 32 inside leg, and I can flat foot this bike absolutely perfectly every time. Still loads and loads of leg room, so if you are a short legged rider, try out the Assault, try out the Iskers. If you're into the sports bikes, then obviously the LXS, LXRs. LXS has a slightly lower seat height. But that is the Lexmoto Assault 125 Euro 5. So if you are interested, as I say, check out the website, eclipsemotorcyclesmk.co.uk. Give the team a call, 01908 822 458. Speak to the bike sales team if you are interested, and we've got these in multiple colours. So Neil, next time we are out doing a ride review, be well, ride safe, and as always, it's a big goodbye from me.